As I mentioned in my last video on my top 5 most wanted Pokemon to surf on in Sun and Moon, we are now officially able to ride, surf, and fly on Pokemon throughout our journey progressing through the Alola region. Since I have already done videos on Pokemon I would like to ride and surf on, I think this time I will do a top 5 most wanted Pokemon to fly on in Sun and Moon. With Charizard already being a flyable Pokemon, who knows what other Pokemon we will be able to fly on and the sorts of obstacles that will be placed if flying is anything like surfing. Nonetheless though, even if it's just flying around the Alolan region map, that alone will make me and other fans very happy. So with all that being said, here are my top 5 most wanted Pokemon to fly on in Sun and Moon. Though this Pokemon isn't directly a flying type, it still has access to fly, that Pokemon being Hydreigon. This Pokemon is honestly very scary in its own right, with a variety of its Pokedex entries pointing out just how deadly this Pokemon can be. This Pokemon devours everything in its path. If there are any flying Pokemon trainers in the air, I guarantee they will see Hydreigon and think twice before messing with you. Rather than trainers being frightened as well, I honestly hope that those annoying wild encounters would just fly away when they see this monstrosity. Secondly, I just love the variety that this Pokemon has, being a dark and dragon type. Not to mention its origin being based on the Yamata no Orochi. I see Hydreigon and I imagine myself flying on this thing. That would be one deadly creature to ride on. So now we have another Pokemon from Generation 5, being Tornadus T. This Pokemon's Therian form is literally a humongous bird, and the speed it can use to zoom through the sky is incredibly fast. One factor I would love for Game Freak to incorporate for a Tornadus T though, is the power to create storms or just simply use its strong winds to be able to blow away certain obstacles. Even though this Pokemon would be amazing for clearing obstacles with its severe winds, there's one huge reason that made it make this list. That reason being that it looks like my favorite Legend of Zelda boss, the Helmrock King from Wind Waker. Conquering this boss in Wind Waker was honestly one of the best sensations I'd ever felt in playing a video game, and if I am able to ride Tornadus T in Sun and Moon, it will honestly look like I made Helmrock King into my pet. I'm still pretty disappointed that Flygon didn't get a Mega Evolution in Generation 6, but if I am able to fly on Flygon, that disappointment will go away a little. The reason Flygon is on this list is to give it a bit more exposure, especially towards the new games. If Flygon were flyable in terms of clearing obstacles, I would say its best job would be to use its Earthquake to clear out humongous canyons that could get in the player's way. Being a ground type, I feel this could be Flygon's best job. Who knows? Maybe clearing out those canyons could bring out some amazing treasure only accessible with Flygon. I will admit, thinking about being able to fly on Flygon definitely gives me a feel of nostalgia, being one of my favorite dragon types, and thinking about being able to actually fly on it would be absolutely amazing. Give Flygon this spotlight, Game Freak. It most definitely deserves it, especially after not getting a Mega Evolution. Like I said in last week's video, I mentioned how certain Generation 1 Pokemon getting surfable sprites would be a great way to show off Pokemon's 20th anniversary. Well, I was thinking, why not bring out some special first generation flying Pokemon as well? The 3 Pokemon that fit this role perfectly are the 3 legendary bird Pokemon. These Pokemon already have pretty big roles in Pokemon Go, being the symbol of each of the 3 teams. Why not give them more airtime in Sun and Moon? Each of the 3 legendary Pokemon can have their own unique way of how they could be used to clear tasks according to each one of their types, with some of the islands having some of these structures similar to their typings. Articuno could be used for the snowy island, Moltres could be used for the main island with a volcano on it, and for Zapdos, there is the island in the bottom left corner that could possibly have a lot of lightning storms that Zapdos could get rid of or possibly even control. Moltres could help fly through the volcano, finding hidden caverns inside that could potentially contain some very rare items. Articuno could do the same thing, except navigating through the harsh cold of the icy mountain region on the bottom right island. All in all, these Pokemon definitely deserve to have a special flying type role, and would be an amazing tribute to Pokemon's 20th anniversary. So ever since I was a kid, I have wanted to fly on this Pokemon the most. That Pokemon is Dragonite. I cannot say enough of how much I love this Pokemon. Out of all the times I have seen Dragonite in the anime being used, it has just been used epically, especially being flown on. Being able to fly on Dragonite would just make you look cool as a trainer, and would make you an extremely well-respected trainer just for having a Dragonite. Dragonite can even circle the globe in 16 hours. This Pokemon is incredibly fast. Imagine flying through Alola on this Pokemon, being able to touch the waves as you fly across the water. All of the water being raised up too. Being able to just own this epic dragon Pokemon is one thing, but being able to fly on it would honestly be so amazing. Make this Pokemon flyable, please Game Freak. Do it for the 20th anniversary. Well, that pretty much wraps up my top 5 most wanted Pokemon to fly on in Sun and Moon. All of these Pokemon would be amazing to fly on in terms of elegance, obstacle clearing, and just navigating through the vast skies of Alola. What kinds of Pokemon would you guys like to fly on though? Share them with me in the comment section below. Remember that if you enjoyed this video, do be sure to leave a like and share this video with a friend. With all that being said though, I have been Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more Pokemon content.